The best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away. Wherever you have to go, just get away.
Lost your damn mind. You done lost your damn mind.
Newspaper have dropped the Dilbert comic strip after a racist rant by his creator. So this is Adam Scott. This is what he said. Cartoonist Adam Scott urge white people to get the HELL away from black people. Okay, we're going to take a look at this news piece here. Let's head over to the Daily Mail, see what's going on with Mr. Adam Scott, a cartoonist who's been doing this for a long time, by the way. And he made some comments that really tipped some people off. And now he is being canceled. Dilbert creator Scott Adams claim Don Lemon shares his view on black people that got him canceled as he tweeted 2013 clip on CNN Star imploring African American to pull up their pants and stop littering. By the way, the Don Lemon's video, I did a reaction video to that and spoke about how true I think Don Lemon was when Don Lemon used to speak the truth in the legacy media. So this is the video I'm supposed he's referring to here. And it's not wrong to take a listen to what Don Lemon said here, just to establish some context. And we are also going to listen to what Scott had to say. So CNN canceled me for agreeing with Don Lemon. And Don Lemon had said this about 13 years ago on CNN. Make it make sense. Let's take a look at that.
Walking around with your ass and your underwear showing is not okay. In fact, it comes from prison when they take away belts from the prisoner so that they can't make a weapon. And then it evolved into which role a prisoner would have during male-on-male prison sex. The one with the really low pants is a submissive one. You get my point? Number 4 now is the N-word. By promoting the use of that word when it's not germane to the conversation, have you ever considered that you may just be perpetuating the stereotype the masser intended, acting like a Now, number 3.
Wow.
Respect where you live. Yeah. Start small by not dropping trash, littering in your own communities. I've lived in several predominantly white neighborhoods in my life. I rarely, if ever, witness people littering. I live in Harlem now. It's an historically black neighborhood. Every single day I see adults and children dropping their trash on the ground when a garbage can is just feet away. Just being honest here. Number 2, finish school. You want to break the cycle of poverty? Stop telling kids are acting white because they go to school or they speak proper English.
I quit.
You get the point. These were some of the things that Don Lemon said. I'm going to say I 100% agree with him. I didn't have an issue with that. People who have an issue with that is because they don't understand the suffering of blacks. And I think those type of straight talk messages, those hard, tough love kind of messages, we need that today. You know, stop being so sensitive. Accept truth for what it is. Anyway, let's head over to Twitter to see what's going on Twitter. This is the message that Adam Scott put out. Let's see how racist that is and what people are having a heart attack about.
So if nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll, not according to me, according to this poll, that's a hate group. That's a hate group. And I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away. Wherever you have to go, just get away. Because there's no fixing this. This can't be fixed. Right? This can't be fixed. You just have to escape. So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where, I have a very low black population. Because unfortunately, there's a high correlation between the density. And this is according to Don Lemon, by the way. So here I'm just quoting Don Lemon when he notes that when he lived in a mostly black neighborhood, there were a bunch of problems that he didn't see in white neighborhoods. So even Don Lemon sees a big difference in your own quality of living based on where you live and who's there. So I think it makes no sense whatsoever as a white citizen of America to try to help black citizens anymore. It doesn't make sense. It's no longer a rational impulse. And so I'm gonna back off from being helpful to black America because it doesn't seem like it pays off. Like I've been doing it all my life, and the only outcome is I get called a racist. That's the only outcome. It makes no sense to help black Americans if you're white. It's over. Don't even think it's worth trying. Totally not trying. And there we go. You didn't expect that today, did you? But those who don't want to focus on education, you just need to get away from them. Just get as much distance as you can.
I'm laughing.
Question, where is the racism at in that statement? Okay, there are a number of things we can say. I will say there were context missing, and this is why you need to go back and watch the entire video that he did. It is still on his YouTube channel. You can see the whole thing for itself. Get your context, because he's quoting from a paper. Let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, so Adam began his creed by citing the results of a recent public opinion poll conducted by the conservative Learning Rasmussen report. So he is quoting from that. It says that in the report that 72% of respondents agreed, including 53% who are black, and some 26% black respondents disagreed. 21 said that they are not sure. The poll also showed that 79 of all respondents agreed that the statement, black people can be racist too. Exactly. I don't think that was an issue whatsoever. But I'm still trying to understand what exactly people are having a heart attack about. So I will say 97% of what he said I agree with. I think he could have put it in a much better way. But a man who speaks like this, people are going to find issues with it no matter what. But first of all, a slow speaker like Adam Scott, people who speaks like that, like I speak, I'm a slow speaker. I can speak fast. I choose to speak slow because I want to pick my words carefully. That man is not dumb. He's anything but stupid.
No, I don't think so.
He knew the repercussion of his words. He knew what was going to happen with some of this, because the way he is talking, he is calculating, he's processing his words. He knows exactly what he's doing. He is not a dummy. It's not like he's saying these things and say, oops, I can't believe I said that. This is not the case here. I'm a slow speaker. I know what I'm talking about. We tend to process things carefully before they come out of our mouths. So the second thing I would like to say is the real issue that people are having a problem with these words here is not so much because what Adam said is wrong, is the fact Adam is wrong for saying it. And especially because Adam is a white man. How dare you speak the truth that is in our faces all the time? How dare you say it publicly? Now, let me say this.
You are either very lucky or very unlucky.
I've lived in Brooklyn, New York, okay? And I left Brooklyn, New York because of how toxic, violent, and the negative influencers that was happening in the community, and the gang violence, the lack of opportunities, and how held back I was living in that system in itself. If I did not live New York as a black man, left Brooklyn, New York, okay, and moved to PA, I think my whole life would have been destroyed. I most likely would have been behind bars. Not because I'm an evil guy, because the toxicity of the environment, the level of crime and gang-related influencers, and also being confined in that environment and seeing this all the time, music, women, stores, clothing, unless you leave that space, you can't think clearly. And I'm so glad I did. Not only did I leave New York, when I came to PA, went to a small town, we found out a lot of people from Brooklyn, New York were coming here as well. So the same issues were here in a small town. I got married with my beautiful wife and we got children. We said, we gotta leave. We gotta leave this place now because we said we can't raise our children here because they're gonna end up in drugs, gangs. They're gonna hear all this stuff, and we're trying to raise a family and trying to raise them in church to love God and everything else. And we said there's no way we're gonna stay here and raise our family. So what am I trying to say is this: even black people will leave wicked cities where there's violence and crimes when they know the influencers are really bad on their children.
Tell them the truth, the truth.
And the second thing is, as a black man, if I know there are some white people who just don't like me because of the color of my skin, they don't like me because I'm black, even though they don't even know me, why will I want to live in that environment when I know I am hated? So if I want this for myself, why would I have an issue with white people doing the same for themselves? So what Adam Scott is saying here is nothing that's not true that we don't know about. I think the issue is the fact that he said it. You can think it. It happens all the time, but you're just not supposed to say it.
I'll ignore that.
Where I used to live in PA, there were a lot of Caucasian people, right? As the New Yorkers were coming into that small town, and a lot of Hispanic were coming in, you know what happened? The Caucasian people moved out. They said, we out. And guess what? When the blacks and the Hispanics, and we came with our poverty, with our issues, with all these different problems, we brought the gangs with us, the violence, the drugs, the lack of education, and also the littering. The littering was also happening. The pants sagging was happening. The cursings was happening. The robbing the stores were happening. Guess what the Caucasian people who were trying to live a decent life did? They packed up and left. So you're going to be upset with them? No, they got to raise their families and protect their homes. I packed up and left. So they went on to live somewhere else, and they left the city to the blacks and the Hispanics and a few more other races. We've pretty much torn everything apart. That city became one of the most wicked city today in PA, one of the most violent city. Most of the deaths that happens in PA happens in that small town. It wasn't like that before. So what Adam is saying here is not like he's lying. And the vitriol and racism and the level of bigotry that a lot of white people experience in these small cities are just as bad. I was raised in Brooklyn. So if you are white and you don't cuss, you don't yell, you don't scream, you don't say the N-word, you don't sag your pants, oftentimes you are either hated, made fun of, bullied, or beat up. That's what happens in Brooklyn, New York to the average white kid who's trying to do the right thing. So should I be upset with them leaving? If this was happening to me or my family in a white neighborhood because they are racist, I would leave too. I would have been out. So therefore, they have the same right to say, I'm out. You don't love me. You don't like me. I'm out. And guess what? It's a fact. There is anti-white bigotry in the United States today. If you don't admit that, it's because you're very dishonest. It's because you're not paying attention. It's because you watch too much CNN. So anything.
Because I am out of here.
But here is the thing. Adam actually went on to speak some more about this. This is 22 minutes into the video. And listen to what Adam says here in this episode. Welcome to the third act. And what he seems to do to speak about here, he understands very well the repercussion of his words. He knew he was going to be canceled. He knew he was going to get in trouble for saying the things that he said, but he said them anyway. And I respect him for that. Okay. So I don't have an issue with this. I think most men will not have an issue with this. The people who are going to have a problem with Adam are either white people, more blacks than the white people who are more blacks than black.
I love black people. I love black people.
So either those who think everything is racist kind of people, and maybe a few black women. But most black men will listen to Adam's message and say, yeah, bro, you're not lying. So anyway, listen to what he said here, trying to explain a little bit more of the nature of his words here.
Say move to Cleveland because they've got it going on, right? Let me clarify what I was intending to say. You'll see if this sounds like what you heard. So here's something I say all the time, including lately and today. I can abide by no discrimination against individuals. Does anybody disagree with that? Is there anybody who would say, no, you should discriminate against individuals? Anybody? Is there anybody in the world, like I've never even met anybody who thinks you should discriminate against individuals? Oh, somebody says they do. You're a troll. So some people are saying, yes, discriminate against individuals. No, you don't mean that. I know you don't mean that. All right. So does anybody believe that I don't mean that? Is there somebody here who believes that I don't mean it when I say you should not discriminate in any regard, not personally, not professionally, no exceptions? Does anybody not believe me? Now, from a constitutional and a legal perspective in the United States, should you discriminate against anybody for race or religion or ethnicity? Or, I guess that's the same thing, sort of, almost. Should it? No. So does anybody think that I oppose the Constitution? Does anybody watch me for a while and say, that guy does not believe the Constitution? I think he really secretly believes that we should discriminate against people in a legal sense. No, of course not. Do you think that I said you should shun your neighbor if you're white and your neighbor is black? Does that sound like something I would say? Shun your neighbor because they're black. Nobody would say that. Literally nobody. So if you believed you heard that, do you think maybe there was some context you were missing? Perhaps. All right, let me ask you this question. If you were a black family, or even if not, and you lived in a home, and suddenly a bunch of neo-Nazis bought all the homes right around you, so you found yourself accidentally living in a neo-Nazi Klan neighborhood, and you're not.
That's my point. That was the point I was making earlier. I'm going to let him finish. You see what I'm talking about? That's just common sense, right? That's not racist. Now, you can call it racist because of the fact he said it. You can call it racist because it's true. But nevertheless, you can deny what this man is saying as facts because people experience that all the time. I'm telling you, we had to move twice because of this. Okay. And we had to move away from black people. We had to move away from Hispanics. We had to move away from drug dealers. We had to move away and save our children away from people of our same skin color. Gosh, because we stay there and let them be corrupted, get robbed, and let their lives be destroyed, or we moved away to save our lives and theirs. Guess what choice we made? We moved away into more like a rural area where there are white people who are doing their thing. We leave this house. People, the neighbors will tell you this is what's going on at home. So and so came to your house. Like they watch out for us, and we watch out for their homes. And happily ever after, buddy. So let's move on.
You're not with them. Would you stay or would you go? Would you move or would you stay? Try to work with them. Make it work out. You'd go. You'd go. Interesting. So would you agree in general with the notion, and this was my other major point, that if there's a group of people who, on average, not individually, but on average, have a racist opinion about you or a negative opinion about you, would you recommend to somebody stay in that situation if they had the option of moving? What would you recommend?
Adam, I'll be out. I'll be out, man. I'll be out. And I've experienced racism from certain white people. I've experienced it a number of times. Best thing to do with it is to just get away from it. Just back away. The second thing is either you talk to the people, you understand why they feel that way. And that takes a level of maturity and self-sacrifice and understanding on your end. Because oftentimes these people who are racist, and listen, I live in PA. We had KKK members in PA. Most of them have passed away. There may be a few people left that are still holding on to these views, but they are very, very small. They're in the minority. But the thing is, even them, you could hardly tell that they held these views, anything. Once you speak to a few of them, and some of them I've spoken to, by the way, they tell you where they've gotten that from. And oftentimes, they are largely misunderstood. Largely misunderstood. This is not for all of them, of course not, but many of them are largely misunderstood for holding on to their views. But nevertheless, I would have been out. If I know you can't stand me, you hate me, you trying to destroy my family, we're like, peace.
Stay around neo-Nazis or to make some distance, get away from there. You would leave. Well, that's pretty racist. Pretty racist.
That's racist.
So guess what? I agree more with Adam than I disagree with him because I will say again, over 90% of what he said is correct. The problem here with Adam, the reason he's being canceled is because he's allowed to think it, but he's not allowed to say it. Even though it's happening all the time, people are just moving and shifting and relocating because they know something is happening in certain neighborhoods that's not supposed to be happening. And they're trying to save their homes and their families and their children. Yeah, that is racist. But nevertheless, this is where being racist is a good thing because you got to protect your home. You got to protect your life. You got to protect your family. So if you calling me being racist for moving away from neighborhoods where crimes and stuff is happening, where innocent people are getting shot, where drug dealers and gangsters are doing things to people that could potentially mess up your life. Moving away from that, if you call that racist, fine. I'm a racist too. Because we got a home to protect here and we got some lives to save. We cannot afford being another casualty in the hands of wicked men. You're crazy. That's not smart. That's called foresight. You need some foresight and insight. That's what I call that. So leave Mr. Adam Scott alone. He's anything but racist from my perspective. Even though I don't agree with him on many political stuff, but no, he's not racist. I've listened to the entire thing, by the way. I spent time listening to what he's talking about. I'm like, that man is anything but racist. These people need to leave people alone. But here's the issue today. This is the issue today. The thing is, we are so sensitive in our culture today. Whatever truth comes to us, we call it racist. And I think this stuff is getting old. It's getting old and dry and rugged. Look at this. We are told judgment is turned away backward, justice standing for far off, for truth is fallen in the streets and equity cannot enter. There you have it. What's under attack today is truth because it's uncomfortable sometimes, it is painful, and truth is never sent to offend anybody. We are offended because we can't handle the truth. In verse 15, we are told truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. Adam, this is what's happening to you right now. You dare to speak the truth about what's going on in these inner city crimes against white people, even against Asians. And guess what? White people, you should get away. If you know you live in a town where you could most likely be hated because of the color of your skin. If I were you, I'll be out. Listen, even though I'm not you, we got out from our own kinds of people. So we smart enough to say, we out. we went and we took our families out into the woods. We say, yeah, we're gonna go live somewhere else and save y'all from some of these people. And they still have an impact on our children. They still want to go there and visit. We're still trying to pull their legs, saying, stop going over there. Okay. Now, the Lord saw it, and it displeases him that there was no judgment. That's what it is. So what's happening today? Truth is falling in the streets. Equity cannot enter, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. In other words, we live in a society today where truth is inconvenient. To tell it, you get in trouble. To say things that are true, inconvenient, that are not always plausible to the sensitivity, the emotion of the culture, you get in trouble. I'm like, oh, please stop. He's not wrong. He is not wrong. Now, he's definitely wrong because he said it. But you're not going to get me to hate a man like that and call him racist. To me, that's not what racism is. You're going to have to give me a new definition of racism, because that's not what racism is. If you want to call this racist, well, I guess I'm a racist too. Have a good one. Bye.